shortly we will be going aboard some of these boats. Got a close-up view, some of the crews. 16 laps on this small course. There is the Extinguisher. The Extinguisher. Very shortly we will be going aboard the Extinguisher, listening to some of the conversation of the racing team. Many more competitors in the milling area.
Look for big boats near the turns.
Is that the pace boat? Laying
Yeah.
behind the pin?
Yes, it is. All right, we can mill.
Start it up?
Yep. Give it a little gas.
There's a helicopter pilot, Keith Smith, from Helicopter Transport.
Turn.
Now we're on board Ballistic with James Shade and Ken Silverman getting ready for this race. A beautiful day here in Hampton, Virginia. Get a little water there. Get hydrated before the race. All right, now we are in the milling area. Many of the boats beginning to follow the pace boat, getting ready for this race. Just a beautiful day here in Hampton, Virginia. Calm seas, crystal clear. It's a beautiful day. We're going to go with the first start here, this first race. The only start of the race consists of Super Stock, Production B, Sport B, Production A, and Sport A. And here they come. 16 laps in all on this relatively small course here in the Chesapeake Bay. More boats now beginning to line up, getting ready, just a few moments away from the green. Pace boat on the far outside, and there you see Team Ballistic with James Shade and Ken Silverman. And the lineup is as follows. We got Danka, Barracuda, Accurate Marine, and Ballistic. Team Ballistic you see in our picture. Coming up is Extinguisher, waiting for the green now, just a few moments away. It's Danka, Barracuda, Accurate Marine, and Team Ballistic and Extinguisher. A few moments away now. We're waiting for that green flag. And we've got it now. We've got the green flag, the beginning of the 1997 Hampton, Virginia Offshore Challenge. Going to the immediate lead is Danka, Barracuda, and Accurate Marine on the outside. It's Danka, Barracuda, and Accurate Marine on the far outside. Danka right now, your early leader. Early moments of this race here in Hampton, Virginia. Danka, Barracuda, and Accurate Marine on the far outside. Barracuda in the middle. Danka's a 28-foot skater with Steve Thiel and Mike Flanagan aboard. On the outside, it's Accurate Marine, also a 28-foot skater with Rick Roberts and Chip Watkins aboard. Accurate Marine on the outside, Barracuda in the middle, coming up quickly. Danka and Accurate Marine on the outside, Barracuda there you see in third in the middle. But now it looks like Danka and Accurate Marine have blown right past the buoy, the first turn. Accurate Marine, though, realizes it somewhat, is beginning to turn, but Danka is just blown right past the buoy. Going off course. There is Accurate Marine trying to get back on course, making the turn. We're going to go back on course with the boats who are making that first turn. And there you see some of the competitors going around the first buoy. And right on track are Phantom, Imagine That, and Barracuda, first, second, and third, respectively. Let's go aboard the Extinguisher now at the green flag. Listen in to some of the conversation. There's our helicopter pilot.
Well, we got to start. Watch this Danka boat.
There's Danka on the right side and Accurate Marine.
Green flag, go.
Our helicopter pilot from Helicopter Transport. Gary Guido, the throttle man. Greg Quirk, the driver. Greg, the previous owner of this 30-foot superboat powered by MRD. Coming off 2 checkered flags, Chicago and Point Pleasant. They are your leader in A class. National point standings. Up ahead on the right side, it's Danka and Accurate Marine. But Danka and Accurate Marine are going off course. They've passed the buoy, and now the extinguisher begins to make its turn, going around the first buoy, A88. A little confusion in the first start. There's Phantom, imagine that, and Barracuda on the left side. First, second, and third, they made the turn. Back to our helicopter shot now. It's Barracuda on the outside, and imagine that on the inside. First and second overall, Barracuda in C class. Imagine that in B class. Of course, we had Danka and Accurate Marine going past the first buoy. There is Imagine That there on the inside. We don't know if Danka will ever make up that lost time. But imagine that on the inside. Kurt Berger is at throttles. Jimmy Ennis is the driver. And Dave Redding, the navigator. Al Izzo, the owner of this 32-foot Tempest. Imagine that, your current point leader in B class. Imagine that. Kurt Berger, Jimmy Ennis, and Dave Redding in second place overall right now. Going around the turn. Looking up there, upfield is Barracuda, first overall right now. Barracuda C12, a 30-foot Spectre. Dan Donahue and Dennis Berry aboard. Barracuda. Barracuda sponsors include Berry Performance, Marine, also Class Oil, and Masco Propellers. Dan Donahue, the driver, Dennis Berry, Throttle Man. Barracuda right now in first place overall and in first place in C class. Other competitors in C class include Danka, of course, Barracuda, and we've got Accurate Marine, Snake Eyes, and Ballistic. Of course, we saw Danka and Accurate Marine go off course, going past the first buoy. I guess we'll have to wait and see whether they'll be making up that time later in the race. Barracuda, Dan Donahue, and Dennis Berry. You're watching the 1997 Hampton, Virginia Offshore Challenge, coming to you from Chesapeake Bay, Virginia. Now, Barracuda's in second place in the national point standings in C. Jaws is in first place, but is not racing today, so we'll have to see how well Barracuda can do and whether it possibly can move into first place. Danka is right behind Barracuda in third place in the national point standings, and of course you saw what happened in the early moments of this race when Danka went right past the first buoy, and we'll have to see whether they can make up that time. But right now Barracuda doing very well. They are in first place overall and in first place in C class. C12 Barracuda with Dan Donahue and Dennis Berry. Powered by two 2.5 EFIs. Looking downfield, we've got some more competitors coming up. There's Imagine That. Imagine That, second overall. and in first place in B class. Imagine That coming up. Right behind Imagine That is Accurate Marine. Accurate Marine right now in third place. It made up that time. But we're watching Imagine That, a 32-foot Tempest, powered by two 675 horsepower Bandit racing inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. It's Kurt Berger, Jimmy Ennis, and Dave Redding aboard Imagine That. In second place overall right now, and your leader in B class. Special thanks to Jimmy from Drum Point Marina out of Brick, New Jersey, for supplying the racing fuel for this season. Also, Kurt's Marine for the Bandit racing engines, the rigging, maintenance of the boat as well. Special thanks to Al Izzo would like to give special thanks to his wife and his family for their support during this 1997 racing season. Main sponsor is Haviland Consumer Products for all of their financial support for the 1997 racing season. Special thanks. Haviland Consumer Products is the largest supplier of swimming pool chemicals for residential pools in the country. Imagine That. Number one right now in B class. Second overall. There's Accurate Marine on the outside. Accurate Marine in C class. Accurate Marine has really made up a lot of room. Battling with Imagine That. A B boat and a C boat. There's some of that coastline here in Hampton, Virginia in the background. Just listen to those Bandit racing inboards. There's Accurate Marine on the outside. It's really battling, challenging. Imagine That as they go around the turn. Imagine That on the inside. Accurate Marine on the outside. Second and third overall. Imagine That and Accurate Marine. Imagine That on the inside, Accurate Marine on the outside. We're watching the fourth national race for U.S. Offshore. Fourth race on the U.S. Offshore Pro Tour. Here in Hampton, Virginia. All right, now let's go with Accurate Marine on the outside. In second place in C class, C24. It's a 28-foot skater, powered by two 2.5 EFIs. Rick Roberts is the driver. Chip Watkins, the throttle man. Chip, by the way, is the owner-operator of Accurate Marine on Eastern Long Island. Your home for all your pleasure boat as well as racing outboard needs. Accurate Marine. Craig Nesbitt out of Hamilton, Bermuda, is the owner of this 28-foot skater, Accurate Marine. Rick Roberts, the driver. He's from Freeport, Long Island. Chip Watkins from Bohemia, Long Island. Going around the turn, Accurate Marine in second place in C class. And in second place overall, Accurate Marine will have a 36-foot skater in the second race. Right now, Barracuda, your leader, first overall. Other boats in C, Danka, Barracuda. Of course, Accurate Marine we're watching right now, Snake Eyes and Ballistic. 5 boats in all in C class. There's Barracuda, your leader right now. Barracuda, a battle here between Barracuda and Accurate Marine in second place here, trying to pick up some room, challenging Barracuda. Battle for first. Accurate Marine right behind has picked up a lot of room. This was the boat that went a little bit off course following Danka in the first turn, but now, boy, what a comeback. Accurate Marine really smoking around this course. You can see not much distance between those two boats. All right, now, as we look downfield, there is Bronx Phantom A1, top of the pack in A class, followed by, on the outside, Great Lakes Caster in B. But it's Bronx Phantom coming up, and there it is, a 30-foot Phantom, powered by one 650-horsepower Bandit Racing inboard with a Mercruiser drive. The driver is Robert Winowski. Throttleman is Louis Erasmo. Bronx Phantom #1 in A class. In the 1996 racing season, Bronx Phantom was your Northeast champion, your national champion, Central, North American, Northeast, and they were your rookies of the year, 1996. Robert would like to give a special thanks to his wife, Michelle, and Louis, his wife, Stacy. Also, thanks to Kurtz Marine. Bronx Phantom A1, #1 in A class right now. Bob Winowski and Louis Erasmo. The Extinguisher, the only other boat in A class today. Great Lakes Caster on the outside in B. Bronx Phantom on the inside, Great Lakes on the outside. As we go around the turnboat. Beautiful day here in Hampton, Virginia today. Fairly calm, as you can see. Just crystal clear out there, blue skies. As we said, this is a short course, 16 laps in all. Fans will be seeing a lot of these boats today. Bronx Phantom on the inside, Great Lakes Caster on the outside. Bronx Phantom in first place in A, and Great Lakes Caster on the outside in first place in B class. Historic Hampton in the background. Bob Winowski and Louis Erasmo aboard Bronx Phantom as they go around another turn. Great Lakes Caster on the outside. As it goes around the turn, we can tell you it's in first place right now in B class. It's a 33-foot fountain powered by two 650-horsepower Chevy inboards with Mercruiser drives. The driver, Jeff Haylett. Throttleman Doug Pompma, Great Lakes Casters. Right now, it is in second place in the national point standings, but it leads right now. Instigator is in first place in the national point standings, but currently is behind Great Lakes. So Great Lakes could move up in the national point standings. Beaver, Banker, and Mr. Technology are not running today, so they won't be getting any points. And Shockwave has moved up to Super B. Great Lakes Casters #1 in B class. Sponsors include Great Lakes Casters, and special thanks to Deb Haylett for all of her work during this 1997 racing season. Little rocking and rolling, but no problem. Great Lakes Caster and Instigator, the only two boats running in B class today. This 33-foot fountain powered by two 650 horsepower Chevy inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. Lots of spectators there in the background on the beach, watching some very competitive racing today. Looking downfield, there is A88, the Extinguisher, 30-foot superboat built on Long Island. Powered by one 800 horsepower MRD inboard with a Merc Cruiser drive. The driver is Greg Quirk. He is also the original owner of this boat. And the throttleman owner is Gary Guido. The Extinguisher, A88. They've got checkered flags in Chicago and Point Pleasant earlier this year. And currently they are in first place in the national point standings in A class. Special thanks to MRD on Long Island. Also John Conway, the crew chief. And the sponsors that make this Extinguisher racing team the competitive one that it is include Leader Fire Protection in Brooklyn. Also Thermodynamics in Brooklyn as well. The owner, Mike Perugio, for all your air conditioning and heating needs, commercial as well as residential. Also TS Trucking. The owner is Tony Salamine. For heating, fuel oil, transportation, TS Trucking. And Dell's Maraschino Cherries, the owner, Anthony Mondella. All your gourmet cherries. Dell's Maraschino Cherries. The Extinguisher race team thanks its sponsors for their support. All right, now let's go on board A88, a 30-foot superboat built on Long Island. Greg Quirk and Gary Guido going around the turn. Let's go on board again as we see some spray on our lands. There's Bronx Phantom on the outside, there on the right side. Bronx Phantom, the other A boat. Battle there, as you can see, between Bronx Phantom and the Extinguisher. Bronx Phantom on the left side. Door-to-door racing between these two boats. Just listen to that MRD inboard. Back to a helicopter shot. The Extinguisher, second place in A class. By the way, our helicopter pilot today, Keith Smith from Helicopter Transport, doing a fine job for us here in Hampton, Virginia. Nice job there by Gary Guido and Greg Quirk handling that 30-foot superboat. There's Danka C4 in third place right now in C class. There's the Extinguisher on the outside. Danka, 28-foot skater powered by two 2.5 EFIs. Veteran throttleman and owner Dr. Steve Thiel of Manchester, Connecticut has now teamed with rookie driver Mike Flanagan of Tampa, son of former world champion John Flanagan. Now taking the wheel for Danka. Only his third race of the season, looking forward to move up in the standings. Danka in third place has really come back after that mishap there in the first turn. Went off course briefly, but has come back. We don't know whether it can catch up, though, to Barracuda and Accurate Marine in C class, but right now it's doing pretty well in third place. Danka C4. Special thanks to Danka of St. Petersburg, the world leader in copiers and fax machines. Also, Sunbelt Rentals, the leader in commercial rentals throughout Florida. Also, special thanks to Ed Riley of ENR Performance and Accurate Marine, and crew members Ron and Mike for their dedicated preparation. By the way, Ed Riley of ENR Performance and Accurate Marine will be racing this afternoon in the 36-foot skater. Accurate Marine, right now they are trailing Accurate Marine, the other skater, in C class in this first race. Danka in third place in C. Steve Thiel, throttle man, Mike Flanagan, the driver. There is the Extinguisher. Extinguisher coming in as we slide left. The Extinguisher on the inside. On the outside, it's Danka, 28-foot Douglas skater. Going around the turn, Danka and the Extinguisher. Door-to-door racing, and there it is. You can see it. Battle here between these two boats. Danka and the Extinguisher. The Extinguisher on the inside. Danka pulling up ahead there, picking up some room. All right, here's a little update on some of the other boats and how they're doing in C class. Accurate Marine has taken the lead over Barracuda. In Sport B, it's Imagine That. In Pro A, Bronx Phantom is first, Extinguisher in second place, and in Sport A, it's Team Extreme followed by Silver Bullet. We are now approaching B1 Instigator in B class. Instigator. B1 Instigator is a 32-foot activator powered by two 650 horsepower banded racing inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. The owner, throttleman, is Peter Meyer. The driver is Benny Alfonso. And Bob Packman is the navigator aboard Instigator. Right now, your current point leader in B class. Instigator. Great Lakes Caster right now is in first place in B class. Instigator, though, is your current point leader in B, so there might be a change by the end of this race, depending on how that goes. Special thanks to Dynamic Communications for their cell phones, beepers, and AT&T wireless communications. They're out of Port Washington, Long Island. Peter Meyer would like to give a special thanks to his wife, Julie, for her support during the 1997 racing season. Also a special thanks to Kurtz Marine. Instigator B1 in second place right now in B. Great Lakes Caster in first. 32-foot activator. Peter Meyer, Benny Alfonso, and Bob Packman. Going around the turn boat. You're watching the 1997 Hampton, Virginia Offshore Challenge. 4th national race for U.S. Offshore. 4th stop on the U.S. Offshore Pro Tour. A19 Silver Bullet, a 27-foot Excalibur powered by two 2.5 AFIs. The driver and owner of the Silver Bullet is Vinny DeCandia of Staten Island, New York. He'd like to welcome Dominic Guido aboard as his new throttle man. Dominic is from North Edison, New Jersey. The sponsor of the boat is Bill Ray Siding and Home Improvements in Staten Island. Vinny would also like to thank his parents for all of their support, and also a special thanks to his lovely girlfriend, Christine, for all of her patience during the 1997 racing season. Now, the Silver Bullet racing team would like to remember two important people who passed away during the year, Vinny's brother Joe and Tony Perry. They will certainly always be remembered by the Silver Bullet racing team. Also, a special thanks to the U.S. offshore officials for putting on a great 1997 racing season. Silver Bullet A19. There is Danka on the outside. Danka coming up on Silver Bullet. Danka in third place in Super Stock. On the inside, it's Silver Bullet A19. Danka, third place in Super Stock. There's Bronx Phantom. Bronx Phantom in first place in A. Mountain Dew now coming into the picture. Mountain Dew. Boats going around the turn. It's Bronx Phantom and Danka. Bronx Phantom and Danka, they see. Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew is a 26-foot Corsa powered by one 700 horsepower hardcore racing inboard with a Bravo drive. Jim Harvis is the driver. Throttleman is Mike Brown. Justin Halder is the navigator. Mountain Dew on the inside. Mountain Dew and Silver Bullet on the outside. Sponsors include Pepsi and Stainless Marine. This boat was a national champion in 1994. Special thanks to Liam Fuller from Pepsi Company. Also Nancy for all of her help. And Mike Giacomo for the tow vehicles he provides. And to Lee Wagner for his great job in getting this boat ready for this race. Mountain Dew A4 26-foot Corsa. Jim Harvis, Mike Brown, and Justin Halder. Silver Bullet on the outside. Silver Bullet and Mountain Dew in a battle here in A class. As we said, Mountain Dew was your 1994 national champion, divisional champs in 95. Handful of checkered flags in this 97 racing season. If it wins today, it will be your national champion in Sport A. Silver Bullet on the outside. Silver Bullet. Mountain Dew and Silver Bullet. There you see many spectators there along the beach watching this race today here in Hampton, Virginia, the 4th national race for U.S. Offshore. Mountain Dew headed for a national championship and Sport A if it wins today. Now, the other crew members that make this boat the competitive one that it is include Jimmy Mars, Eddie Simmons, Lee Wagner, and Nancy Kazak. Mountain Dew, Jim Arvis, of course, Mike Brown, Justin Halter, aboard this 26-foot Corsa. Mountain Dew. They are all from Richmond, Virginia, right down the street. There is Silver Bullet on the inside. Silver Bullet. Battle here between Mountain Dew and Silver Bullet in A class. Sport A. Calm waters here in the Chesapeake, as you can see. Great for racing. Silver Bullet with a slight edge on the inside. Looking downfield, other competitors coming up as we see Silver Bullet on the inside once again. Mountain Dew on the outside. A battle here in A. Going around the turn. Silver Bullet and Mountain Dew. 1 and 2. And coming into the picture, Extinguisher and Fast Company. Extinguisher and Fast Company. Mountain Dew and Silver Bullet. Silver Bullet going around the turn. Instigator and Fast Company. All going around the turn. Instigator and Fast Company. Fast Company at 33 foot sup and in second place right now in B class behind Imagine That. It's powered by two 500 horsepowered Mercury inboards with Mercruiser drives. Fast Company. Jim Spiros is the driver. Throttleman Art Collar. Navigator is Pat Corrigan. B34. Fast Company sponsors include Export Services Inc., BGM Excavating, and Kendall Oil. Fast Company right now behind Imagine That in B. This 33-foot sup in Fast Company ran well in Point Pleasant, New Jersey a couple of weeks ago and doing well right now here in Hampton, Virginia for the 4th national race for U.S. Offshore. Jim Spiros, Art Collar, and Pat Corrigan aboard Fast Company. Driver, throttleman, and navigator. You're watching the 1997 Hampton, Virginia Offshore Challenge. Just a beautiful day here in Hampton, Virginia. Clear skies, calm waters, as you can see. This is the first race of the afternoon. The second race will follow. B34, 33 foot up and powered by two 500 horsepower Mercury inboards. In C-Class C41, it's ballistic, a 26-foot express powered by two 2.5 EFIs. There is Bronx Phantom on the inside in first place right now in A-Class, followed by the Extinguisher. But on the outside, ballistic C41 with James Shade and Ken Silverman aboard. Ballistic on the outside, Bronx Phantom on the inside. This Ballistic race team, James Shade and Ken Silverman, do all the work on this boat, Ballistic, as well as their other boat, their open boat, Riveted, which way we're supposed to run this afternoon, but they had some problems, some technical problems. Ballistic, 26-foot Express. They took a second place in Kent Narrows earlier this year. And these guys are locals. They are in the Virginia area. They got a lot of fans out here rooting for them. A lot of support. James Shade and Ken Silverman, Ballistic C41. It's powered by two 2.5 Mercury EFIs. And there you see we are on board Ballistic with Mr. James Shade and Ken Silverman. Nice driving there by James Shade. He's also the throttleman. Navigator is Ken Silverman. James Shade, also the owner of Ballistic. Nice shot of these guys on board. Just listen to those EFIs. Back to helicopter shot. Team Ballistic in fourth place in C. Right now it's Accurate Marine, Barracuda, Danka, and Ballistic in fourth. In super stock. Once again, let's go on board. Many spectators along the beach there watching this race. Great vantage point. This is a small course, 16 laps, so many great vantage points here in Hampton, Virginia. There's your onboard camera there on the visor. Little direction there from Ken Silverman. Snake Eyes C25, a 30-foot Cobra powered by two 2.5 EFIs. The driver is Bob Anselmo. The frontman is Jimmy Anselmo. Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is coming off a checkered flag in Kent Narrows earlier this year. Snake Eyes' new sponsor is Hooters out of Hampton, Virginia. Special thanks to the manager of Hooters there, Bill Aquario, and the Hooters girls, Christine, Annette, and Heather. Great public relations from the Hooters girls. Also, special thanks to Russ from Annapolis Auto Parts and Marty Martin from Amco Transmissions. Also, special thanks to the crew, Pat Gillespie and Jeff Griffiths. And Jim would also like to give a special thanks to his wife, Donna, for all of her support during this 1997 racing season. Snake Eyes C25 with Bob Anselmo and Jimmy Anselmo. There you see Team Ballistic on the outside. Team Ballistic battle here for fourth place. Let's go aboard Team Ballistic now. And there you see Snake Eyes on the right side. There you see a real battle between Team Ballistic and Snake Eyes. And Snake Eyes now has moved into fourth place. There you see Snake Eyes on the inside, Team Ballistic on the outside. There's Team Ballistic now in fifth place in Super Stock. Snake Eyes powered by two 2.5 EFIs. "30-foot Cobra" as we see some of the landscape here in Hampton, Virginia. And Team Ballistic close behind, so it's still a race here in Super Stock. There's Instigator behind Great Lakes Caster in V. Instigator with Peter Meyer. Snake Eyes and Team Ballistic on the outside. They're still battling. Fourth and fifth place there in Super Stock. All right, Snake Eyes is the last boat that we will be covering for you. And of course, so we'll be bringing you the second race this afternoon. And we will be giving you the results of this first race after the second race. And they will be expanding this course here in Chesapeake Bay for the big boats. They are the Open, the Modified, and the Pro Stock. In the second race here at the 1997 Hampton, Virginia Offshore Challenge, as we go by some of the shoreline there and the dock, and many spectators watching this race. And they are in store for another treat. The big boats coming up shortly, the Open, the Modified, and the Pro Stock. And now we are in the milling area for the second race of the afternoon here in Hampton, Virginia. There's Gifford Racing in the milling area getting ready for this race. Fourth national race for U.S. Offshore. Fourth stop on the U.S. Offshore Pro Tour. More competitors coming up. There's Rolling Thunder. There's R&R Racing. All right, now let's go on board Gifford Racing with Bill Gifford and Scott Langbein coming off a checkered flag in Point Pleasant. Let's listen in.
Okay. Make a big round circle here so I get some RPMs up because they're probably waiting for Eric. Not around them. Go to the left here. Go to the left. Look clear over here, I guess.
There's our helicopter pilot, Keith Smith, from Helicopter Transport.
Got smoke. Got smoke.
Gotcha.
Come on around.
And there is the orange smoke. We are just a few moments away now from the beginning of this race. And many of these boats now will begin following the pace boat, beginning to line up the open, the modified, and the pro stock. Now they have extended the course, so the open will go 13 laps for 104 miles. In the modified, they'll be going 11 laps for 88 miles, as will the pro stock, also 11 laps, 88 miles. There we see the lineup. More of the boats coming up now as we look downfield. And the lineup is Lightning Jackson, Race America, Tropic Heat, and Priority. As we are a few moments away from the beginning of this race, looking downfield once again. Let's go aboard now, Gifford Racing. Bill Gifford, Scott Langbein.
All right, that's him.
Yeah, but we got to get on the outside over here.
Yeah.
We can't be like that. We can't be jammed in by him.
All right, just watch your side there a little bit, Bill. How we look?
No, just go right next to him. All right, go.
There, right.
All right, now back to our helicopter shot. They've got the green flag, the beginning of the open, the modified, the pro stock, this 1997 Hampton, Virginia Offshore Challenge. Everyone off to a great start here as you see some of the boats downfield coming up. But it's Gifford Racing and Lightning Jacks going out to the immediate lead. And looking downfield, it's R&R Racing, Rolling Thunder, Accurate Marine, and Defender. Early moments here of the start, the open, the modified, and the pro stock, and it's Gifford Racing and Lightning Jacks, your leaders right now. And they're pulling away from our helicopter right now. They are really cranking around this course as they head towards the first turn. Let's go on board now, Gifford Racing.
Do you see the buoy?
Not quite yet. You see it?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll put a little pad down.
I'm thinking.
Huh?
I think we're picking up on it. I think we're straight ahead. I hope.
Go by.
Straight ahead, I think, Bill.
I see it.
Woo,
Okay.
woo, woo. What the?
Going around the turn, Gifford Racing and Lightning Jacks. Lightning Jacks is right there, and then Gifford Racing right behind as they go around the first turn. All right, now we're going to go with Lightning Jacks. Lightning Jacks is a 36-foot skater powered by two 800 horsepower Pro 1 inboards with Mercruiser drives. Bill Durham, the driver, John Woolley, the throttle man. As we get a little closer on Lightning Jacks. Right now, in first place in the point standings nationally in the Pro Modified, Lightning Jacks. There you see Gifford Racing looking downfield. Sponsors include ABC Tank and Lightning Jacks Marina in Brick, New Jersey. Professional Marine, by the way, Professional Marine Racing is also located in the Lightning Jacks Marina. It rigs and maintains this 36-foot skater and keeps it running at its best. Lightning Jacks. Right now, you're a leader. Bill Durham and John Woolley, driver and throttle man. John Woolley, the owner of this 36-foot skater. Some spectator boats there along the way. A few weeks ago in St. Petersburg, this boat, Lightning Jacks, led most of the way in the modified and took a second place. Lightning Jacks, right now in first place and first place overall. this boat is really moving. We're having a hard time keeping up with it. Going around the turn. There's the turn boat. Lightning jacks as we see the shoreline in the background. This boat is powered by two 800 horsepower Pro 1 inboards. Many spectators there along the beach, as you can see. Gifford Racing, right behind Lightning Jacks. Gifford Racing is a 42-foot cube with Bill Gifford and Scott Langbine aboard. It's powered by two 1,000 horsepower Bruce Falls inboards with Mercruiser drives. Gifford Racing, your current national leader in open class. Coming up a checkered flag in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Gifford Racing would like to give a special thanks to Mr. Joe Halbrunner, also Bill Gifford Jr., and Sue Gifford and Casey for all of their support and dedication during this 1997 racing season. Also thanks to Sunoco Racing Fuel. Number one in open class, Gifford Racing. Fourth stop on the U.S. Offshore Tour.
A little rougher than it looks.
Yeah?
Let's listen in.
Well, it's chopped, that's all. Might be, you know, maybe you can even get you may be able to get an idea what the ballast tank does, you know?
Yeah.
Bill Gifford on throttle, Scott Langbine, the driver. There they are. Many spectator boats lining the course. Just listen to those two 1,000 horsepower Bruce Falls inboards. A lot of power.
Come on.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go for a ballast tank job. I take care of it.
What's that?
I'm going to put some water in her.
Okay.
You said up is closed, right? And down is open.
Yeah, the drain, yeah, he had the drain down and it was open, so if anything went in, it would drain out.
All right, I'm putting it in. See what she feels like. Let's go get him straight on his stern, okay?
Check.
number 1 in open. Gifford Racing.
Follow right on him. Feels better, don't you?
Yeah.
See the buoy over here?
Yeah, he went real full. He went real full.
Yeah.
Scott Langbein, the driver. Bill Gifford, throttle man.
Yeah, he's taking him real wide, I guess, you know? Keeping up some steam.
Easy
Going around the
buddy.
turn.
Come on around.
Okay.
Give it wide. Keep
Gotcha.
it wide. Keep the speed up. Okay.
Okay.
Gifford Racing, number 1 in open class. 42-foot cube,
Steer
number
all
88.
over. Stay with him, will you?
Right, right. When
Scott Langbein, the driver. Bill Gifford, throttle man. You're watching the second race of the afternoon here in Hampton, Virginia. The 1997 Hampton, Virginia Offshore Challenge. 4th national race for U.S. Offshore. There you see many spectators on the beach. Now as we leave Gifford Racing and swoop around here on the beach, there is a big, beautiful hot air balloon. As we get a little closer, we'll be able to see Virginia is for lovers. And that's what this state is all about. And a great event right here in Hampton, Virginia, as we come upon 2 more competitors. There's R&R Racing on the left side. On the outside, it's Accurate Marine. They're both leading their respective classes, modified and pro stock. Accurate Marine on the outside. It's a 36-foot skater powered by 3 2.5 EFIs. Brand new 36-foot skater. The first race for this boat, Accurate Marine. Now as we slide left, there is R&R Racing leading in national points and your leader in the modified right now. R&R Racing, a 36-foot Hydrotech powered by 2 675 horsepower Bandit racing inboards. R&R Racing M36. The driver, Walter Pusecki. Throttleman, Ron Roman. They're both from Brick, New Jersey. There on the outside, Accurate Marine and R&R Racing. Modified and pro stock here. Great competition between these 2 boats. Both are 36-footers. One's a Hydrotech, the other a skater. Accurate Marine on the outside, R&R Racing on the inside. By the way, the R&R Racing team would like to give a special thanks to team member Caroline for all of her dedication and support during the 1997 racing season. Accurate Marine powered by 3 2.5 EFIs. They are on the outside and they lead in pro stock. P19. R&R Racing M36, your leader in the modified. The R&R Racing team would like to thank the Chamberlain for the fine accommodations here in Hampton, Virginia. Also special thanks to everyone over at Kurtz Marine. R&R Racing, number 1 in the modified. M36. Walter Pisecki, Ron Roman aboard, driver and throttle man. Other competitors in the modified are Tropic Heat and Rolling Thunder. Bedarnar Racing in first place in the modified. All right, now let's go with Accurate Marine, your leader in pro stock. It's a 36-foot skater powered by three 2.5 EFIs. Accurate Marine aboard Mr. George Hall. He is the driver and owner of Accurate Marine. Ed Riley is the throttle man. Accurate Marine located on eastern Long Island. It's a Mariner dealer. You're a home for all your high performance as well as pleasure boat needs, outboards as well as inboards. Accurate Marine. By the way, the other boat, the S boat, the smaller boat, took a checkered flag in the first race today. They took a first place in S class with Mr. Chip Watkins. So if Accurate Marine continues its lead here in pro stock, well, they'll have two checkered flags in one day. Accurate Marine, 36-foot skater right now in first place in P. P19. Other competitors in P include Race America and Defender. Three 2.5 EFIs powering this 36-foot skater. Many spectator boats there lining the course alongside. George Hall and Ed Riley doing a fine job. Just listen to those three 2.5 EFIs. Accurate Marine, #1 in pro stock, P19. This boat is really cranking around the course right now in first place. Looking downfield, there's some of the shoreline. In second place in pro stock, Defender, a 32-foot skater powered by three 2.5 EFIs. Aboard driver Daniel Lilly, throttle-man Dan Lilly II. Defender in second place right now in pro stock. It's also in second place in the national points, and Pennzoil is not racing today. So Defender will be your national point leader after today's race. Defender, 32-foot skater. Sponsors include Maine Offshore Boats, Daniel G. Lilly Law Offices, Sunset Marina, and Southport Marine. Took a first place in Chicago, a second place in Lake Winnipesaukee, and a second place in Point Pleasant earlier this year. Maine Offshore is the builder of 21, 27, and 30-foot powerboats. Special thanks to Intense Marine, Lake X, Southport Marine, and as we said, Sunset Marina as well. crew members, Kip Reynolds, Louis DeBiase, Annette Lilly, and Elaine Fox. A special thanks to them as well. Defender. M2 Rolling Thunder, 35-foot Jaguar. There's the U.S. Offshore Angel ship, the medical and rescue team. Over Rolling Thunder, just making sure if anything happens, it is there. The Rolling Thunder, 35-foot Jaguar, powered by two 635 horsepower inboards. The Angel ship does a great job in the event if there's any kind of mishap during these events. Great medical and rescue safety team. David D'Ambrosia and Gary Hartman aboard. There's American Thunder on the far outside. Some of the shoreline here in... There's the Angel ship on the far outside, and American Thunder now coming into the picture. Father-son team, Eric Jackson and Eric Jackson Jr. American Thunder, a very colorful boat in open class. American Thunder and Rolling Thunder. An open boat and a modified boat side by side. Pretty picture there. Two good-looking boats, and of course the Angel ship and the Hampton, Virginia shoreline in the background. There's Gifford Racing and Lightning Jacks. Gifford Racing, your leader overall. Race America, third in Pro Stock right now, 36-foot Cobra, with Ronnie Carruthers, the driver, and Ned Lipscomb, the automan. Without Ned Lipscomb, this race would not have occurred today here in Hampton, Virginia. A key player in this 1997 Hampton, Virginia Offshore Challenge. Special thanks to Mr. Ned Lipscomb. Race America, third in P. Other Pro Stock competitors include Accurate Marine and Defender. Ned Lipscomb doing a fine job in this first annual 1997 Hampton, Virginia Offshore Challenge. Race America. There's slowing down. Race America slowing down in third place in Pro Stock. There's Shockwave. Shockwave followed by Priority. Shockwave, a 38-foot fountain. Priority, a 40-foot hustler. There is Shockwave on the outside. Priority on the inside. Priority, a 40-foot hustler powered by two 750-horsepower Mercury inboards with Frank Blatt, Ron Umlaut, and Kevin Sharp, driver, throttle man, and navigator, respectively. Priority, M44, Shockwave on the outside. Priority leads in the national points in Super V. Priority, M44. Shockwave there on the outside. Shockwave. Rich Tropoli, Mark Tangus, and Alan Kovac. Shockwave also in Super V on the outside. A battle here in Super V between Priority and Shockwave. Hustler and a fountain. Priority, number one in Super V. Shockwave there on the outside in second place. Shockwave is a 38-foot fountain powered by two 700-horsepower Bandit inboards with Mercruiser drives. Rich Tropoli's the driver, Mark Tangus the throttle man, Alan Kovac the navigator. Sponsors include Gateway Systems, an air freight and trucking company. Also G&J Freightliner, which sells Freightliner trucks. Also special thanks to Aljo Custom Embroidery, Tropoli Collision, and PPG Industries for the paint and supplies that it took to paint this really colorful boat. Shockwave V71 38-foot fountain. Also special thanks to the ladies of the crew, Kathy, Joyce, and Linda. V71 Shockwave. It used to be a V boat, but now it's moved into Super V. Shockwave in second place right now in Super V. Tropoli Collision for the paint and the graphics of Shockwave V71. It's a beautiful paint job. Very colorful. There is Gifford Racing smoking by on the outside. Your overall leader, Gifford Racing. Shockwave, Rich Tropoli, Mark Tangus, and Alan Kovac. Driver, throttle man, and navigator. In second place in Super V. Special thanks to Kurtz Marine for the reliable Bandit racing engines. There is Priority. Priority in first place in Super V, followed by Shockwave in second. A battle here in Super V between Shockwave and Priority. There is Priority in first place right now in Super V. Shockwave coming up. All right, now we're going to go with the final boats here. We see Gifford Racing, your overall leader, Gifford Racing. Number one in open class and number one overall, followed by Lightning Jacks in first place in the modified. There's Gifford Racing once again. There's Lightning Jacks in first place in the modified, and then Accurate Marine in first place in Pro Stock. 1, 2, and 3 overall. Lightning Jacks your leader in M class. There's the Gifford Racing up ahead. Gifford Racing, Bill Gifford and Scott Langbine, first and open and first overall. Scott Langbine, the driver, Bill Gifford, throttle man. Lightning Jacks. So we're going to take these guys to the finish line. These are the last boats that we'll be covering for you in this 4th national race here in this 1997 Hampton, Virginia Offshore Challenge. Gifford Racing, number 88. First overall and first in open class. Lightning Jacks. Lightning Jacks, second overall, first in the modified. And that's it. It's in the record books, the 1997 Hampton, Virginia Offshore Challenge. And there you see the beach and the spectators having watched us. It's a beautiful, beautiful area for this 4th national race. And the results are in open class, Gifford Racing in first place, followed by American Thunder in second, Gifford Racing getting the checkered flag. In Super V, we just saw it. Priority in first place, followed by Shockwave. And in third, another bad move. Priority, number 1 in Super V. In the Pro Modified, Lightning Jacks, number 1, getting the checkered flag. Lightning Jacks in Pro Modified. In M Class, R&R Racing, coming in first place, followed by Rolling Thunder in second. And in third, Tropic Heat, but R&R Racing all the way in first place in M Class. And now the Pro Outboard class, Accurate Marine getting the checkered flag, followed by Defender in second, and Race America in third place in Pro Outboard. Accurate Marine, number 1. Now here are the results of the first race today. Accurate Marine coming in with a checkered flag in Super Stock. Barracuda in second and Danka in third. So Accurate Marine, 2 checkered flags, 1 in Pro Stock and 1 in Super Stock. Accurate Marine, number 1. In B class, Great Lakes Casters in first place, followed by Instigator in second place. Great Lake Casters, number 1 in B. In B class Sport, Imagine That, followed by Fast Company. Imagine That, your winner in B class Sport. In A class, Bronx Phantom in first place, followed by the Extinguisher in second. Bronx Phantom getting the checkered flag in A class. And in A-Class Sport, Mountain Dew coming out on top, followed by Silver Bullet in second place. Mountain Dew, A-Class Sport, your winner. And that is it. The results are in the record books for the 1997 First Annual Hampton, Virginia Offshore Challenge, the 4th national race for U.S. Offshore, and the 4th stop on the U.S. Offshore Pro Tour. A great event, great competition, but most of all, a safe event. Now, before we go, there are a few people that we would like to thank. First off, the entire staff of U.S. Offshore for orchestrating a fine event, with special thanks to Mr. Ned Lipscomb. Also, our freeze-frame video production crew, including Mr. Peter Magnani, for great installations of our onboard cameras. Also, our helicopter pilot, Mr. Keith Smith from Helicopter Transport. They always do a fine, fine job. So on behalf of Jeff Girardi and the rest of the Freeze Frame Video Production Company, I'm Vince Lipari, wishing you a fond farewell from Hampton, Virginia, hoping to see you soon at the next offshore race. Bye, everyone.